Kei te timatanga tātai I te karakia timatanga. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mākina kina ki uta, kia mātaratara ki tai. Kia hiake ana te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, ti hei mauriora. Ko te mea tuatahi, he mihi atu ki ngā atua o ngā mātua tūpuna. Tēnā koutou. Kia papa tūnuku e tākotu nei, kia rangi nui kei runga, tēnā kōrua. Ki ngā mana whenua o tēnei takiwa a Ngāti Mamoi, Waitaha, Ngai Tahu hoki, tēnā koutou. Ki ngā mate, kei wainganui a mātou, haere, haere, oki, oki atu rā. Ki ngā hunga ora, tēnā koutou katoa, nei mai haere mai ki te hui atau o te pau arataki paunamu o Murihiku. Ko ngā tuku mata whaurua te waka, ko hikurangi me motatau ngā maunga, ko waikare me waiomio ngā awa, ko turiki me mirianga marae. He uri au o Ngāti Hine, te kapotai me ngāpuhi nui tonu. Ko Mata Cherington tōku ingoa. Ko ai te kai whakahaere o te pau arataki paunamu o Murihiku. I'd like to warmly welcome you all and open our annual public meeting by acknowledging not only the challenges we are currently facing, but recognising the resilience that is built through overcoming these challenges, by acknowledging those that provide us with spiritual strength, the environment which sustains us, and our mana whenua o Murihiku. We may remember those who have passed and reflect on the year that has been, so we can safely move forward. To you all who are joining us this evening, thank you for taking the time. Although we would dearly love to be joined by you in person, we are grateful that we have the opportunity to safely reach out to our communities across Murihiku. I'm Mata Cherington, the Kai Whakahaere Chair of Community Trust South, Te Pau Arataki Paunamu o Murihiku, and along with our General Manager, Jackie Flutie, we are pleased to present you with the year that has been.
Ko te tia te manga, ko te wanaka te roto, no o tutahi aho, ko Waihopai, toko kainga noho, ko Jackie Flutie, toko anoa. Nora rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I'm Jackie Flutie, the General Manager here at Community Trust South, and we're really looking forward to presenting our annual public meeting this evening. It's unfortunate that we can't be together in person, but unfortunately with COVID-19, we need to make the best of the bad situation. We do hope that being able to present this online will allow more people to engage from outside of the region. Just a wee bit of housekeeping, so just to note that other people in the meeting will be able to see that you are attending the meeting. And we have made arrangements so that the video and microphone and chat functions of the meeting are turned off, and that's just to make the meeting as stable as possible, because we know a number of our rural Southland people struggle with internet speed. So I wanted to start by virtually introducing our team here at the Trust. Just take a minute. So our grants manager is Diane Williams, Robin Kohler is our research manager, Nairi Hamilton is the trust administrator, Jennifer Hay is our accountant, Justine Horgan is our marketing and communications advisor, and Michelle Barron is our funding advisor. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the team for their tireless work over this last year. It has been a difficult time with COVID-19, and the staff have been extremely flexible and have worked very hard to ensure that our community can continue to be supported by the Trust. They've taken a lot of time to remain engaged out in the community, and I really do thank them for all of the work with regard to that.
So as a chair of the Trust, I'm fortunate to share the tepu with my colleagues and recognise the wealth of knowledge and experience across sectors that they bring to the Trust. Alongside me is Bill Moran, who is our Deputy Chair, and he was appointed in 2019 and resides in the Whakatipu area. David Goebel is our Investment Committee Chair, and he was appointed also in 2009, and he's from Invercargill. Whai Louise Fowler was appointed in 2020 as our mana whenua endorsed trustee, and she resides in Motupohui Bluff. Michael Wilson is also from Invercargill and was appointed in 2018. Stephen Kenny, who was appointed in 2019, is also from Invercargill, and Kirsty Pickett from Tiana was appointed in 2020. I'm pleased to welcome our new trustees who have just recently been appointed: Mel Montgomery from Central Southland, Leon Samuel from Invercargill, and Leon Hartnett, also from Invercargill. I'd also like to acknowledge finally our recently retired trustees, John Wyeth, Lindsay Wright, and Trish Boyle. It is the role of the trustees to be stewards of the trust's assets, and with the amazing team who walks alongside its community, we are able to make well-informed decisions for the purposes of achieving our vision, a thriving South. The trust has a dual role to be prudent investors, ensuring that we maintain our asset at a level that will protect and grow the capital base for successive generations, alongside distributing funds annually to our community to achieve our vision of a thriving South. In the last year, we approved $5.9 million in funding to our community and received an investment return of 20.8%. Needless to say, we were cognizant of what our communities were experiencing and sought to contribute to those organisations who needed the resource to deliver and respond to those they served. Jackie will go into more detail around our investments and funding now.
So looking at our financial results for the year ending 31st of March 2021, we had total revenue of $46,815,000, which was a significant improvement on the prior year, which had been a negative. This was due to the markets rebounding strongly after the drop in response to COVID-19 in the prior year. Year to date, this current year, revenue has also been strong. However, there does remain some volatility in our investment markets, so we continue to watch that closely. Investing activity expenses have increased to $1,749,000, mainly due to the additional investment revenue. Trust expenses at $1,152,000 were down on the prior year, mainly due to savings associated with operating differently under COVID conditions. Grants committed at $5,418,000 were down on last year, as there was no major grants round when there had been one in the prior year with a budget of $1.5 million. And also, organisations did not apply for funding when they normally would have, and some did not pick up funding that had been approved due to COVID-19. Total expenses were $8,292,000. Due to the increase in revenue and the decrease in expenses, total income for the year was a very positive $38,523,000, a very positive result following on from the negative in the prior year. Looking at our investments now, we have an appropriately diversified investment portfolio with 65% of our assets and growth assets, including shares, private equity, including Invest South, infrastructure and property, and 35% in income assets, including cash and bonds. We have robust policies and processes in place to allow our investment committee to continue to actively review and consider the portfolio to ensure that it is appropriately invested. Looking at the detail of our investments, so total investments as at 31st of March 2021 were $257,771,000, and as Marta had mentioned, the trust achieved an extremely positive return of 20.8% after the negative result of negative 1.4 in the prior year. Looking at our granting levels, grants approved and committed were down in the prior year. This was despite our response to COVID-19. To help support organisations during COVID, we allowed them to retain funding even if projects and events were not going ahead. This was in circumstances where they were still incurring expense. However, there were some organisations who weren't incurring expense and so did either not pick up funding or did not apply for funding. During this past year, the Trust also did provide additional funding into the areas and some organisations that were most impacted by COVID-19. In 2021, prior to COVID, the Trust had decided to have more of a focus on capital rebuild and so did not have a major grants round in that year, that is for applications over $75,000. A major grants round had been held in the year prior in 2020 with a budget of $1.5 million. And these are the main reasons for the difference between the grants approved and committed. $1 million has been allocated for a major grants round in this current year, ending 31st of March 2022, with this round now closed for applications. A trust such as ours generally aims to maintain the capital at an inflation-adjusted level. Back in the time following the global financial crisis, the Trust made a decision to support the community to a high level during what was a very difficult time, and the result was that the Trust capital fell below the inflation-adjusted target. In recent years, the Trust has had a focus on rebuilding capital, and you will see the progress which has been made in the capital rebuilt to year ended 31st of March 2021. So we were almost there by the end of the financial year, but as at the 31st of August, we have now just achieved capital rebuild. We are, however, very fortunate that Community Trust South has the highest per capita trust capital of all community trusts in New Zealand. And while there is uncertainty ahead for investments with COVID-19, we are in a fortunate position with the level of capital that we have to be able to continue to respond to the needs in our community, both now and into the future. For the Trust, it does remain a fine balancing act between supporting the community need now and ensuring that we can maintain our capital and build an investment fluctuation reserve to ensure that we are ready to respond to any future crisis. Due to the needs we have seen in the community, the Trust has increased the grants budget this year to $8 million, with the regular grants budget increased by $500,000 up to $7 million, and the $1 million that has been set aside for the major grants round. Looking at the different ways that the Trust can support the community, so alongside the grants and scholarships that we provide, we also provide community loans to not-for-profit organisations, and these can be either interest-free or interest-bearing. Community loans are suitable where organisations can afford to repay but need money up front to be able to get a project started, especially important in an environment where costs continue to escalate. The Trust also owns Invest South, an investment fund which supports local businesses seeking capital and expertise for growth. Invest South partner with management teams to increase and realise the value of businesses. The Trust has also provided an impact investment loan to Invercargill Central, the Invercargill Inner City Development, and this will bring an investment return for the Trust alongside the significant social benefits for our region of this project. Looking now at some more detail around the funding breakdown by our strategic PO, you'll note when looking at these figures that the Arts, Heritage and Culture PO particularly is quite low in this year. That has been mainly due to a reduction in requests from arts organisations where events have been cancelled, unfortunately, due to COVID-19. This next slide shows a detailed breakdown of the funding by geographic area. Our boundary covers a very large geographic area, and so it's important that we track our funding so that we can ensure that the spread of funding is appropriate across the whole of our area.
Over the last year, the Trust has worked on not only the what we do, but more importantly, how we do it. We wanted to explore the fundamental values that we agreed as a Trust should be what our communities experienced when they interact with us. We have developed a set of agreed values which we not only want our communities to experience from us, but also how we conduct ourselves in all matters of the Trust. The following are our Trust values and what they mean to us. Respect, manaakitanga. We will demonstrate our respect for our community by understanding the diversity of people and their views. We will show our respect and trust in the people we work alongside by being compassionate, sincere and loyal. Integrity tikanga. We will demonstrate our integrity by being impartial, transparent, honest, authentic, fair, and by having sound ethics. Approachable, whanaungatanga. We will work together with our community and build relationships through shared experiences. We will be accessible, inclusive, friendly, available, and connected. Proactive, tūhonohono. We will keep an open mind and look forward to the future and support innovation so that our community can take the initiative and take advantage of opportunities. We will recognise the intergenerational nature of the trust. Connected, kōtahitanga. We will be connected to our community by keeping it at the heart of what we do. We are committed to collaborating and working together in partnership with our community. Responsible, kaitiakitanga. We will demonstrate our responsibility by using our combined wisdom to be prudent, conscientious, diligent, and socially responsible in our decision making to ensure appropriate guardianship of the trust resources. We will be accountable to our community. Our vision for a thriving South requires the trust to be able to adjust to adjust as and when is needed. And the 2020-2021 year saw significant needs arise with the experience of COVID-19. Not only did the Trust recognise that we needed to be responsive to addressing the experiences of communities that were more affected by the pandemic, we wanted to work with those community groups who were determined to see beyond the pandemic so our region will continue to thrive. Through our team reaching out to our communities and our communities responding in kind, we're able to recognise those who shared our values and wanted to partner, collaborate, and build a stronger and more resilient murihiku. We're able to leverage our relationships within the local and national funding networks and share the most appropriate pathways with our community organisations. We know that not one size fits all, and so we continue to be responsive by ensuring that our approach is multifaceted so that our reach continues to extend out and be appropriate for as many groups as possible. We had called for partai questions in advance. However, in lieu of not receiving any questions, we welcome any questions around our year that was to be received by email. We are thankful to those individuals and groups who have provided us advice and feedback, as it allows us to evolve as a community evolves. And we are in awe of the strength and determination of the many recipients who approach us for support so they may continue to serve. Before I close the meeting with the karakia whakamutunga, I urge you to take a few more minutes following the closing of the hui to watch some of what our people have done to ensure the South continues to thrive. You'll find the links to these videos on our events page. He mihi mahana ki a koutou me o koutou whānau. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. He karakia whakamutunga kia tau. Kia tātou katoa, te ata whai o tō tātou ariki o I hukareiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, āmine, pō Mārie.